Level 1, The Believer. The number hits you at 11:47 a.m. on a Tuesday, $340, in 2 hours. You didn't move, you didn't call anyone, you didn't go to a meeting. You just watched a chart and clicked a button, and now there's $340 more than there was before. You screenshot it. You don't tell your boss, you don't tell your girlfriend. You tell your friend who's also been watching YouTube videos about this, and he says, "Bro," and you say, "I know," and neither of you sleep properly that night. The account is small, $2,000 you pulled from savings. You've watched maybe 40 hours of content, support and resistance, moving averages, the basics. You've got a notebook. You've got rules you wrote yourself. You feel prepared in the way that only people who have never been truly unprepared feel prepared. The market is a place where smart, disciplined people make money. You are smart. You are disciplined. The math is obvious. You lose $180 the next day. You don't screenshot that. You tell yourself it's part of the process. Every video said there would be losses. You expected losses. This is fine. You add a new rule to the notebook. What you don't understand yet is that the notebook is a way of pretending you have control over something that doesn't care about your notebook. What you don't understand yet is that $340 was luck, and the market gave it to you on purpose, the way a casino gives new players early wins, not out of generosity, but because it knows what comes next. You're not a trader yet. You're a customer. Level 2, The Grinder. 6 months in. The account is at $1,600, down from $2,000, but you've deposited another $1,500 since then, so the real number is worse, but you don't calculate it that way. You wake up at 8:45 a.m., you check futures, you check the news. You have a pre-market routine now. It takes 40 minutes and you believe in it completely. You've switched from options to stocks, then back to options. You've tried scalping. You've tried swing trading. You've tried both at the same time, which destroyed you in March. You're in a Discord server with 4,000 other people. Someone calls a ticker every morning. Sometimes it works. You've noticed it works about as often as it doesn't, but when it works, the chat is electric. Fire emojis, screenshots, people saying, "Let's go." And when it doesn't, everyone just moves on. Nobody counts the losses. You don't count yours either, not really. You track them in a spreadsheet, but you don't look at the spreadsheet. You've developed opinions. You have a watch list. You use the word thesis without irony. You've told people at work that you trade, and you've seen the look they give you, and you've decided those people don't understand what you're doing. There's a guy in the Discord with a verified P&L. He made $14,000 in a single week. You study his setups the way you used to study for exams. You think if you understand his system, you'll find yours. What you haven't accepted yet is that you're losing. Slowly, steadily, in a way that's easy to not look at directly. You're paying tuition to a school that never graduates anyone it doesn't intend to keep enrolled. You keep grinding, because stopping would mean the losses were permanent and you need them to still be temporary. Level 3, The Survivor. You blew up once. Real blow up. The kind where you held a position through a stop because you were sure, absolutely sure, it was going to reverse. It didn't reverse. You lost $3,200 in 40 minutes and sat in your chair afterward feeling like the floor had become air beneath you. You didn't quit. That's the thing about surviving a blow-up. It does something to you. Some people leave. You didn't leave. You took 2 weeks off, read 3 books, rebuilt the spreadsheet from scratch, and came back smaller, slower, angrier at yourself in a way that, for the first time, made you better. You have a real system now. Not rules from a YouTube video. Your rules, built from your losses. You know exactly what kind of setups destroy you. You know you trade badly after 2 losses in a row. You know you overtrade on Mondays. You have evidence for all of this because you finally started looking at the spreadsheet. The account is at $6,000. You deposited a lot of that, but some of it you made. Real made, not luck made. You can tell the difference now. You can feel it in how the trade moved, whether you followed the plan or just got away with breaking it. You're not making money consistently yet, but you're losing less. In this world, that's called progress. The Discord seems different to you now. You can see the people in there who are where you were 18 months ago. The energy, the fire emojis, the total absence of lost posts. You don't feel superior. You feel something quieter. Something that isn't quite compassion and isn't quite contempt. You've stopped telling people at work that you trade. It's not a secret exactly. It just stopped being a story you wanted to tell. Level 4, the edge. You have a strategy that works. You know this because you have 12 months of data that says so. Not 12 months of watching it almost work. Not 12 months of it working when the market was easy. 12 real months with real drawdowns, tested across different conditions, with a positive expectancy you can calculate on paper and feel in your body. The account is at $23,000. You didn't get here by being brilliant. You got here by surviving long enough to stop making the expensive mistakes, which is the closest thing this world has to wisdom. You trade 2 hours in the morning and sometimes 1 hour at the close. The rest of the day you don't look at charts. This took longer to learn than anything technical. The discipline to do nothing, to be in front of a screen that updates every second and choose, over and over, not to act. That discipline cost you probably $8,000 in bad trades before you understood it wasn't weakness. It was the whole game. You've stopped following other traders. You stopped when you realized that every time you watched someone else's setup, you second-guessed your own. Your edge is yours. It lives in a very specific set of conditions. Outside those conditions, you're just gambling with extra steps. People ask you about it now. Friends, a cousin, someone from your old job who heard you'd been doing this. They want tips. They want the thing. You try to explain that there isn't a thing, that there's a process that took years, that what works for you won't work for them because they won't sit through the losses that shaped it. They hear this as modesty. You've given up correcting them. Something has changed in how you think, not just about markets, about everything. You've spent years in an environment that punishes every form of self-deception, that doesn't care about your feelings or your story or what you deserve. It has made you very calm and slightly cold, and you're not completely sure those are separate things. Level 5, the professional. The account crossed $100,000 4 months ago. You didn't celebrate. You noticed it the way you notice the weather, as information about current conditions, not as something that means something about you. This is the year you went full-time. You didn't make it dramatic. You ran both things for 6 months, saved 12 months of expenses, built a second account as backup, told your employer with 2 weeks' notice and no speech about following your dreams. It was a business decision. That's how you talked about it and how you felt about it. And the distance between those two things had long since closed. Your mornings have structure that most people would find monastic. Same time, same routine, same checklist. You've internalized a level of process discipline that has less in common with finance than with surgery, the kind of field where inconsistency isn't just expensive, it's terminal. You manage $100,000 to $200,000 in positions on a normal day, sometimes more. The numbers stopped feeling real at around $40,000. Now they're just units. Your brain adjusted. You made it adjust on purpose through deliberate exposure because you couldn't afford to feel the size of the positions while you were managing them. You don't talk about trading at social events, not because you're hiding it, because there's nothing to say that a normal conversation can hold. The reality of what you do, the psychological infrastructure required to do it, the way time moves differently when a $15,000 position is moving against you and you have to stay inside your rules, none of it translates. You've tried, it doesn't land. You have maybe 4 people you can talk to honestly about any of this. All of them trade. You found each other gradually across forums and chance conversations, the way people with unusual jobs find each other, by recognizing the specific silence of shared knowledge. Your P&L is up 34% this year. You feel nothing about this number that resembles what you imagined you'd feel when you were in that Discord server 5 years ago. What you feel is something closer to satisfaction at confirmed process, which is real. It's just quieter than you expected. Level 6, the operator. You manage other people's money now. Not by design. It started with one person, someone you'd known for years, who asked if you'd run $50,000 for a percentage of profits. You said yes because the math was obvious and the trust was already there. Now it's 4 accounts, $800,000 under management. You're not a hedge fund. You haven't registered anything. You're operating in a gray zone you understand well enough to navigate carefully, with agreements that are personal rather than institutional, with people who found you through people who found you through the one person you said yes to 2 years ago. The money changes the psychology in ways that are difficult to explain and impossible to fully prepare for. Your own money, you've trained yourself to see as units, to manage without emotion. Their money resides differently in your mind. Not louder, heavier. There's a weight to knowing that one bad month, one streak of variance, one blown risk parameter affects someone else's life in a concrete way. You carry this without showing it. You've learned to carry a lot without showing it. Your returns are solid. 28% last year, 19% the year before. Nothing that looks extraordinary from the outside, but extraordinary doesn't survive contact with scale. You've watched traders with flashy numbers blow up because they never learn the difference between a system that works and a system that looks good until it catastrophically doesn't. You have a reputation now in a world that doesn't have a name. Not social media famous, not on any list, just known among a specific set of people who care about actual performance numbers and have access to actual performance numbers. In this world, your name means something. This world is small and invisible to most people, and that is, you've decided, exactly right. The people whose money you run ask you questions sometimes. They want reassurance during drawdowns. You give it to them in a measured way, honest about the process, controlled about the specifics, never promising what can't be promised. You've learned that managing their psychology is part of managing their money. You didn't expect this. You've adapted. There are months where you're running their accounts and your own, and the psychological load is something you feel in your body, a low-grade pressure behind the eyes, a flatness in the evenings that you've stopped pretending is tiredness. You don't discuss this with anyone. You manage it the same way you manage a position, with process, without drama, until conditions change. Level 7, the architect. You're 34. The accounts you manage have passed $3 million. You have a proper entity now, a registered structure, legal agreements, a CPA who specializes in this. You trade your own book and manage outside capital, and the line between those two things has become a question of allocation, not of category. You hire someone, part-time first, then full-time. Operations, investor communication, compliance documentation. Watching someone else do the parts of this that aren't trading is strange. You built everything yourself for so long that delegation feels like releasing pressure from a valve you forgot was pressurized. You've developed views about markets that are hard to explain to people who haven't earned them through loss. Not theories, something more like intuitions built on thousands of hours of pattern recognition, built on the accumulated memory of being wrong in specific ways and adjusting. You can't always explain why you see what you see. The explanation comes after the observation, which used to bother you and now just seems like how it works. The money you make is significant. You live differently. Not extravagantly, not because you're modest, but because the things that used to represent success no longer mean much, and the things that actually mean something now turn out to cost less than you expected. Time, quiet, the ability to think without interruption, access to people worth talking to. These are the things you found yourself arranging your life around. There are nights where you sit with the weight of it, the positions, the other people's money, the structure you've built, and you feel something that is not fear and is not confidence, but is located between them. A clear-eyed awareness of how much depends on your continued ability to perform at a level that took a decade to reach, and could theoretically be disrupted by a change in market structure, a regime shift, a string of variants that breaks even a sound system. You think about this without catastrophizing. You've built reserves. You've built alternative plans. You've accepted that nothing is permanent, that markets evolve, that the edge you have today requires maintenance and adaptation. This kind of thinking used to feel like weakness. Now, it feels like the most honest thing you do. You were asked recently to speak at a small event for aspiring traders. You agreed, then spent the night before thinking about what to say that would be true and useful. You talked about loss, about process, about the psychological cost. You watched their faces during the part about loss and recognized something. The polite, patient look of people waiting for you to get to the part about the money. You finished your talk and answered questions and drove home and felt, not for the first time, completely alone with what you know. The next morning you're at your desk at 8:50 a.m. Charts open, checklist running, coffee cooling beside you. The market opens in 30 minutes. Somewhere, someone just funded their first account. They watched a video. They have a notebook. They made $340 last Tuesday, and they're still thinking about it. They think this is about finding the right strategy. They're wrong. But the market will teach them. It always does. It just keeps whatever it charges for the lesson.